Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen, all in crypto here, and welcome back, guys, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. If you are new around here, every single day we release a market update similar to this one, where we don't just look at the cryptocurrency market and everything happening internally with it, the charts, but we also look further afield at things like the stock market and the kind of macroeconomic landscape to help us piece the puzzle together in regards to where we think our small but very significant space is heading. And we've been doing a pretty good job of that so far. Bitcoin has essentially been ranging now for just shy of 30 days, 29 days. We are going on to the 30th day, and it's been somewhat painful. You've essentially been stuck in this range here, and you're currently at the lower end of it for nearly 30 days. And this is quite strange because you've had a lot of good news. Obviously, within this time period, you've had the Ripple win in regards to XRP being classified as a non-security. We've seen Bitcoin dominance take a hit on the back end of this. You've also had Larry Fink come out and say Bitcoin is a global currency that's going to transcend, crypto, he said, was a global asset. He said Bitcoin is going to be a global currency that can transcend other currencies. And the price hasn't really done a lot. Now, remember, this is where retail gets caught out all the time, and I am still retail. The news is not what you want to trade off because insiders are always privy to information, and actually that's why the charts are going to be your main source of information in regards to trying to dictate where the market is going, because news is often accounted for in the price already. Remember, markets are very much forward looking. So it's rather interesting that we've been sort of caught in this range. We are at the lower end of it. I do think maybe you could get a quick stamp to the downside. Again, that hurdle analogy, you don't want to run from it static. You want to sort of take a few steps back and get a running go at clearing whatever hurdle it is in front of you. Also, Bitcoin, where it's currently at, is at a very, very significant level, your 30K level, which is historical, right? And actually, you do not have I still got volume by price on here? This is the wrong chart. You do not currently have a lot of volume above you here. So, you know, if you look at the kind of volume that you've got here, you'll very quickly be at your sort of 40K-ish level. Once you've cleared this 30K, I do think you'll clear it. You know, remember, we've got inverse head and shoulders, we've got stage analysis, we've got a whole list of reasons, macro reasons, micro reasons why we think Bitcoin is heading to the upside. And ultimately, we took that bet back on the 5th of January. So it's been a bit of a lackluster time period in regards to the price. Altcoins are further behind Bitcoin in the same way that your big cap stocks are further ahead than some of your smaller ones. You know, we did a lot of looking at some small stocks that we applied in my Patreon, in my group, stage analysis to, and everything is essentially in the same sort of position. You know, we ultimately are expecting, for technical and fundamental reasons, a bull market. And stocks are already and have already been very much in one. Yesterday, in regards to the news, and we saw quite a nice run for altcoins that got largely slapped down. Remember, we are still very correlated to the stock market. This is Bitcoin at the top and the stock market below. Okay, and you can see just the relevance in regards to us being correlated. All right. Now, I would say the stock market is actually leading Bitcoin. I think we got lucky here because we were still bearish here and ultimately were validated with the FTX spill. We didn't know FTX was going to happen. We weren't calling it. We're not claiming that. But the stock market had actually bottomed out. If FTX hadn't happened, we'd have been very late to the bull party. But this is how markets work. We had technical reasons to be short here. Remember, we got short here and only got back into the market here. But we're still very much correlated. And yesterday, and this week, we've had a lot of earnings. Today, we've got over 205 different earnings for the US. Some of the most notable ones are American Express and SLB. Going into yesterday, actually on the close of the bell, so the market close, we actually had some pretty negative earnings for, I think it was Netflix and a couple of other companies. And ultimately, this hindered the stock market, you know, with the Nasdaq closing down 2%. You know, you had Tesla down a whopping nearly 10%. Remember, you've also got resistance that you're running into now for these. So the earnings are secondary to the fact that you were actually at a resistance level here. Coinbase, we think Coinbase is a $200+ stock. Again, all these stocks are in similar situations to what your altcoins are, with your larger caps leading. This we've really used as our poster child for what we think is to come generally. Remember, we've looked at rates and what happens under a non-hiking environment or a pause in hiking, which, by the way, they're pretty much set to do a 25 basis points because the Fed is just, it's a kind of token gesture, if you will. We've looked at the kind of context of what happens under sideways rates in relation to the S&P, and it typically goes on to put in a new all-time high. We don't think the crash occurs yet, blah, 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 blah. We've covered all this 1,000,001 times on the channel. So we're having a little bit of a turbulent time. Not turbulent, but stagnant time. This is going to break and likely break to the upside, in my opinion, but it may see a little downside stab before it does that. It's very common. Flush everyone out. Flip people to bearish. Get that short squeeze. Boom, you're off. Altcoins are in an interesting position. We're actually going to talk about Solana a little bit because I'm actually bullish on Solana. I'm bullish on a number of altcoins, but I actually think Solana is doing, strangely enough, showing more strength than a lot of altcoins out there, actually, in relation to where they currently are. You got a nice double bottom here. Anybody who wants to learn about stage analysis, do consider joining the Patreon. We are rolling out a lot of courses in regards to it. I do believe stage analysis for retail investors is the best way to look at charts and invest accordingly. And hopefully you'll never get wrecked again with that on your side. I can't say that because, of course, you could have freak events like March 2020 and other such things. But it's a very good sort of way to look at the markets and invest in them accordingly. But Solana is actually showing a lot of strength. Very interesting news. Solana records 1 outage in the first quarter of 2023 and 100% uptime in Q2. Is this going to continue? We will see. But altcoins, we're bullish on altcoins. Bitcoin's leading. This is a breakout. This is a stage 2. You're now in a bull market for Bitcoin as far as we're concerned, and altcoins will catch up. And actually, we're going to see Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, continue to roll over. We've been pretty good. Everyone in my group caught some major moves, and it caught a lot of major moves this year, but certainly caught the most recent ones, XRP and XLM. Again, that wasn't actually our call, but it was certainly a call that I took seriously from somebody that I respect massively. So we're experiencing a bit of turbulence. I do think we're going to push to the upside off it. I think it's quite lackluster in terms of news. We're kind of a lot of weightings going on right now for ETFs, for clarity, for this, for that, for a range break. And we'll see what the weekend brings. Weekend could potentially continue the sort of boring spell. We are coming into August and September where the market volume will pick up. There's that famous saying out there, sell in May and come back at St. Leger's Day. September's really what you're talking about for this, and then you'll start to get a lot more market participants. So you're going to get a lot of players coming back into the market, and certainly at a key point where Bitcoin breaks the 30K level, which we think it is going to do, it's very positive. This is so textbook in regards to not only reversal structure, in regards to stage analysis, in regards to, you broke, you retest, now you're looking for that continuation, consolidating around key support. So textbook. We've got altcoins that we've championed like Link. It's doing just absolutely sensationally. It's not broken out yet, but we do suspect it to do so. The good news for you guys is the actual bull market hasn't occurred just yet. However, it's certainly here. It is what we're essentially assessing. The major break and the major moves, the bulk of the bull market is still to come, and that I think is nothing short of exciting. On to a little bit of news. So you got more company earnings today. Cathie Wood, Bitcoin is the insurance everybody will want. Now, Cathie Wood has been probably one of the worst investors of all time recently. She's up there with a number of people, not only selling at the wrong time, buying at the right time, but I think she will be right eventually. We actually looked at ARK, and we said actually ARK's going to do well now. And we actually were on quite a well-known sort of macro guy channel where we were actually saying both Coinbase and ARK we were long and ultimately right on. And Bitcoin is the insurance everybody wants. What's she talking about here about insurance? Well, she's talking about insurance against a complete make-believe and insane fiat system that is, it will crumble eventually, and that's the kind of insurance that she's talking about. Bitcoin is a system that exists outside the system. We listened to Yovel, who's the World Economic Forum spokesperson, a snake, but somebody that's very clued up, talking about actually how money's a story and the best storyteller wins. I do somewhat agree with him on that, certainly in relation to Bitcoin. The Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland has written a paper on the Lightning Network. Wow. We find a significant association between LN adoption and reducing block congestion suggests that the Lightning Network has helped improve the efficiency of Bitcoin as a means of payment. Potentially. I do think that all these Bitcoin maxis that champion things like the Lightning Network and a number of other things actually have spat in the face of Satoshi in regards to, if you read the first paragraph of the white paper, not introducing a third party to Bitcoin, because it takes away and detracts from what Bitcoin's trying to do. But that's just my own opinion. Just in the UK, Treasury says it will work with Bitcoin and crypto firms to ensure a clear path to regulatory approval. This is from Cointelegraph. You seeing this, the SEC. The SEC is a lame horse in regards to regulators. What Gensler's doing is it's a power grab. He's seeing how much land he can grab through the courts, ultimately because they are unsure themselves of this kind of new and uncharted territory. That's why he can't answer simple questions like, is Ethereum in security? Even though his predecessors have answered this question, and he's been looking at it in power now for a number of years. On that note, I'm going to live and leave you. We did say this was going to be a short and sweet update. We have indeed done that. Yeah, we still remain long and strong. We ultimately think the market's in a great position, and you guys should be nothing short of excited for what's to come. See you all in the next one. Have a fantastic Friday, guys. Catch you in the next.